It's time for another unboxing video. Look at this ridiculous outfit. I have a box here and I have a knife because I can never find my scissors. And yes, I did just unintentionally slightly stab myself in the hip. But whatever. Oh, you're gonna get hurt, love. Can you see her? Is her head in there? Come on. No. No, please. It's a knife. No, guys. So I'm very excited about this. This is one of those episodes where stop. Stop. We're gonna do it in little bits. Stop. I spend my whole day saying stop. And mommy needs space. Guys, mommy needs space. Guys, you know what? It's not. Hey, Thelma, come here. Who's that little girl? Here she comes. I'm gonna just talk nice to her instead of telling her to shut up. Come here, Thelma. Who's that little girl? Who is? All right, so what we have in here, I'm unboxing a little bit slowly. Dun, da, dun, da, da. Oh, it is. Oh, hang on a second. Oh my gosh, hang on. Oh, geez Louise. It is. Oh, this is so pretty. Yeah. Watch out, y'all. Nope. Watch out. It is. Another box. Yes. That might be a good novelty item. Maybe I could, for these unboxing fetishists. Surely someone has already thought of this, where you just send people a box inside of a box inside of a box, sort of like low rent. How do you say Russian nesting dolls? Russian nesting dolls. No, Louise. Oh my gosh, these dogs. Stop. You guys, go get in your crate. Go get in your crate. Crate, Louise. Go get in your crate. You can do it. All right. Clearly, I need more practice with unboxing. I'm rather inelegant. Oh, heck yes. Here it is. Oh my gosh, y'all. This, I am just so pumped, is, oh yes. It's my little free library. Woo! I'm gonna paint it, and Dave is, unbeknownst to Dave, gonna put up, he's gonna like mount it. I know that if Beavis and Butthead, he's gonna mount the post. And then, what was that, a piece of lettuce? And then we put it outside, and I put books in it for people to take. And I learned about little free libraries in Portland, Oregon, where I used to visit every year before things got weird with the pandemic. And they also have in Portland, little free poetry boxes. So I think I'll do that too. Anyway, stay tuned, and we're gonna just, we're gonna make a little free library happen. I love libraries. I love libraries. Now I'm doing this fun part, which is I am painting my little free library. And for those of you who haven't tuned into every single episode of my life, you know, when I was little, my art teacher told me that I was doing art wrong. That poor guy. I still am blaming him like 50 years later. And, you know, my dad, and oh God, we're sick of hearing about him, but he tore up my coloring book. It's a really big trauma for me. And it really, I can't say for sure, but I never did have an interest in visual arts after all that. So then, last fall, when my good friend John Byrne died, all hail John Byrne. John was just an amazing painter. And I'm not saying, like, it wasn't like he spoke to me from the great beyond and said, you must carry on my painting, but just right around that time, I ordered some paints. You know, it was locked down, and I had been trying a bunch of different, I have to say this, I know this is so self-conscious, and it's our culture, but like, I have gained the COVID-19, and I really am okay with it. But it's just funny, now I feel sort of like the Michelin Man when I sit in these poses. I also walk around the mansion, and this is a complete tangent from the free library, but like, I am working really hard to undo all the shitty messages, lies that I got as a kid in our culture, a woman, a girl. And honestly, I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. I eat food now. I don't obsessively exercise. I just, so yeah. And I wear skin tight clothes because it's fucking fun. But anyway, so my friend John died. I ordered some paints, not even in his memory. It just kind of was the next thing that I wanted to try. And oh my gosh, I love painting. Like, it is healing something inside of me like nothing else has ever done before. And I also like to talk about how the knitting and the baking and all the tactile stuff does that. So I think in the past, what I would have done if I got an item like this is I would have just hired someone to paint it for me. That's okay too. I love hiring. You know, I love finding other creative people who need to, you know, put food on the table. That's an expression I hate. We'll say that for another day. I like being able to employ people, but this time I decided to do the painting. It will surprise absolutely no one that I've chosen blue because I paint everything blue. So that's where I'm at in this part of the process. I think I'll do the trim a little darker blue, and then we'll be back when it's time for Dave to mount the post. Everybody, Dave's gonna mount the post. So I'm here on the porch at the mansion. I really can't remember where I left off talking about little libraries, but I'm making progress. And let me just show you where I'm at here. Look, isn't that really fun? It's fun. Which makes me want to sort of move away from the topic of libraries just for a second and say, I mean, this is a really freaking awesome problem to have. And if it sounds like a humble brag, I promise you, that's not it. Is that at least for this summer, I have time to sit on the porch and paint happy flowers in the middle of the day. It's just wild. It's really wild. So I like to always remind everybody self-care is so important. And I know not everybody can stop in the middle of the day, but I really, really, really hope that you'll find even 5 minutes for yourself. Shh, there goes a truck. Just 5 minutes during the day that's just about you. So libraries. So I'm putting out this free library because I used to see them in Portland, Oregon all the time. And the other thing I saw in Portland, well, poetry boxes, but the other thing, I don't know if I can find a photo of this, I'll look around, but there are a lot of like horse hitching rings on the sidewalks in Portland. Not even full-on hitching posts, but just these little iron rings that are, you know, stuck into the ground that people can tie their horses up on. I'm gonna guess it was, oh my gosh, maybe like the summer of 2007, when someone got the great idea to start leashing little tiny horses, little plastic horses to the rings. And then one day I saw a dinosaur connected to one, and like, I'm a really big fan of sort of like the neighborhood prank. My friend Jason started the whole Peacocks Welcome Here thing in the Bolden neighborhood. Hilarious. So I'm going to somehow tie that back to libraries, in that libraries are about sharing, right? Like you get to share books and you don't have to pay for them. And I have so many weird feelings about sharing certain things, right? Because I have so many siblings that growing up, you know, you had to share, which wasn't really sharing. It didn't feel like if sharing has a positive connotation, then what I was doing wasn't always sharing because I was resentful. If sharing is a neutral term, you know, okay. But I'm weird about sharing. Like if someone says to me, oh, I like that shirt you're wearing. If I'm not that attached to the shirt, I'll just say, well, you can have it. It's this really weird thing I do. And I try to do it less, you know. I've given away like hand knit sweaters and stuff. So that kind of sharing, but I love the sharing of the library. I will always financially and, you know, with also great, huzzah, great cheerleader cheering, support libraries and public radio. Anything like the original Wi-Fi that levels the playing field. If you're poor, you can go in the library. You can learn just as much as, you know, these folks that just don't even have to think about where the money's coming for an education. You know, and that's what I did. And I always, in my heart, like one of the greatest kindnesses anyone ever did on the planet Earth was some librarian in Westville, New Jersey, in like, I don't know, 1975 or 76, I like to say smuggled in a copy of Our Bodies, Ourselves. Well, I didn't know jack shit about my body. You know, I was still waiting to learn about my menstrual cycle, which I was already experiencing. So I got my hands on Our Bodies, Ourselves, and like all the things you can do with a zucchini. Oh, that's so great. And it's funny, that library was like this big, and it was in the basement of the police department, which was that big. And here in Smithville, the police department is about that big, and it is separate from the library, but I just like the library. So anyway, I like the little free library because it's just kind of like, it's kind of manipulative, you know, trying to proselytize that literacy is a great thing. And, you know, not everybody benefits from literacy. You know, there are certain politicians, I almost named names, I'm not going to do it, who've been given fantastic educations, and they suck. Okay, I'm going to break this part now because I'm really going off on a rant. But first, I'm going to say, so I've got a quote on the back of this one. I think I'm going to add brighter pink paint so people can read it, and it says, if you truly love a book, you should sleep with it, write in it, read aloud from it, and fill its pages with muffin crumbs. Isn't that great? That's a quote from Ann Fadiman, who wrote an amazing book called Ex Libris. I cannot recommend it enough. And it also reminds me of perhaps my favorite Billy Collins poem. I'm grateful every day we don't have to pick favorites. But he's got this poem, Marginalia. Oh, please do yourself, that's your act of self-care. Take like 2 minutes and read Marginalia. Oh, it's so beautiful. So this is the final section, portion, chapter of the little library episode. And I'm out here, Thelma and Louise are learning how to walk on a leash. They're doing great. And I did, this week, Dave came and he dug the hole and he assembled the library. He put it together. There it is. Isn't it wonderful? I had so much fun with it. And so I will say, I was thinking about, I have this friend Charlie, may he rest in peace, really hilarious comedian, just really funny. One of his jokes was, he said, I like to go, Charlie was a real big guy, and he said he'd like to go to, which we know society often judges people for. So he said he'd like to go to weddings where he didn't know anybody and stand at the end of the buffet table, gesture toward the bride and go, I fucked her. So Charlie had this thing where he's like, look, you guys, when it's a food drive, look, I got the Breakfast for Tiffany's thing going on. When it's a food drive, don't send them your expired pumpkin mush that nobody wants to eat, not you, not anybody. Send people good shit. So I didn't exactly pumpkin mush it in here, but I did fill it kind of hastily. I also put in some little free paintings. People can take my little free, you can come get a little free painting. And I think I might start now, I know it's brainwashing, but I think I might start like putting in literature that I actually want people to read so they can convert and do my bidding. I don't really want that. I just want people to enjoy books. And this community I'm in really is into, gosh, I'm having a hard time with the camera, is really into sharing. So, there we go. The end. See you next week. Hey y'all, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you'll like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this episode, I hope that you'll copy this link, share it with a friend, paint it on a wall, put it on your social media. That'd be great. Thanks a million. Take it easy.